Hey guys, it's Todd. I got my notes. Now I'm going to read directly from the notes because if I don't, I keep messing up, all right? So, this is not the type of video that I usually do, but I had to chime in on it. And because the news, social media, the internet, and other outlets keep ignoring or glossing over a very important point. Now, before I start, I'm going to assume that you already know about tariffs, and you also know about trade deficits. So I'm not going to go over their definitions or an explanation. Now, Trump said that one of the reasons why he raised tariffs was to help reduce the trade deficit or the trade imbalances between the United States and other countries. The truth is that trade deficits or trade imbalance between the United States and other countries cannot be reduced. Trade deficits are only a boogeyman that someone or the conservatives invented. Trade deficits really mean nothing. And here are the reasons why. Here in the United States, the average person income is between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. And with this amount of income, a person can buy a car, he can buy like a 32-inch TV that costs around $100, and we can buy like a washing machine and a dryer that costs between $500 and $1,000, all right? Now, when I was in Vietnam, I met a guy who worked at Starbucks, and he worked 40 hours a week, but he was only earning about $120 a week. And at this level of income, there's no way he could even think about buying a car or washing machine. And this is why most people in Asia drive scooters and do not own a washing machine. Now, when I was in the Philippines, a good, decent salary in the Philippines is around $500 a month. And this allows you to buy food, transportation, housing, and utilities. So buying a 32-inch TV that costs around $100 would be about 20% of their monthly salary, which is a lot. And most people in the Philippines and Thailand only makes around $10 a day. From me traveling in Thailand, I could afford a very comfortable living if I only bring in $1,000 a month. And $1,000 a month would pay for my rent, my utilities, transportation, and entertainment. The point I'm trying to make is that people in other countries do not have the money to buy anything made in America. This means that no matter what the United States ships to the other countries, the people in these countries cannot afford to buy our products or buy things that are made in America. This means that we cannot sell them anything, and we cannot sell them anything, then there's no way we can reduce the trade deficit. So there's no way tariffs can ever reduce the trade deficit. Now, we do sell other countries corn, wheat, rice, and soybeans, but this is pretty much the only thing we really do sell other countries, not including alcohol and oil. The only reason why we are able to sell these agricultural products to other countries is because the United States subsidized farmers to grow these particular products. For example, now I do not know the complete numbers, but it works something like this. It might cost a farmer $10 a bushel to grow corn. The United States government gives that farmer $10 a bushel to grow the corn. Thus, it's pretty much costs the farmers $0 to grow that corn. Then the farmers turns around and sell that bushel to other countries for around $2 to $3 a bushel. This is how other countries are able to afford to buy the products made in the United States, or to buy corn, wheat, soybeans, and rice. Thus, we are basically paying the other countries to buy our products. The countries that can't afford to buy our products, such as England, Canada, make their own stuff, so they do not need American products. In fact, Americans cannot afford to buy most of the stuff that are made in America. That's why we have them made overseas. It is said that if Apple had its phone made in America, it would cost about $3,000. That's 3 times as much. This means that 32-inch TV you buy at Walmart that costs $100, that will increase like to $300. And a washing machine that costs $1,000, that will increase to $3,000. Therefore, an average American income currently is about $50,000 a year, means that the average American will not be able to afford to buy anything made in America, not at our current level of income, if everything costs 3 times as much. Thus, for the average American to be able to afford to purchase products made here in the United States, companies will have to triple our income, or increase our pay 3 times. And no company is going to do that. We all know that. And if this is true, and if this is the case, why would any company relocate the manufacturing back to the United States? Particularly if they know they cannot sell anything in the United States at the current level of income. This means that no or most manufacturing is not going to relocate back to the United States. This is just that simple. Now, if I understand this, and I know this, then we must ask, what are these tariffs really meant to do? What do the White House really think they were gained with these tariffs? It's not going to relocate manufacturing back to the United States. It's not going to reduce prices. It's not going to reduce the trade imbalance. To be honest, I really don't know what they are trying to gain with these tariffs. What I do know is that no U.S. president in the last 60 years have ever thought about doing something like this because it's just stupid. And most people cannot predict what goes on in the mind of a stupid person. So that's the only thing I wanted to say about it. This trade deficit or these tariffs he put on there to try to bring back manufacturing can never happen because most people in the United States at the current level of income cannot afford to buy the goods made here in the United States. It cannot reduce the trade deficit because most people in other countries cannot afford to buy anything that is made here in the United States because their level of income is a whole lot less than what we do in the United States. I mean, like I said, the Philippines, average income about $500 a month, and at $500 a month, you cannot really afford to buy anything made in the United States, all right? Okay, that's all I want to say. Adios.